Thank you for tuning in again this week. This week we're celebrating the 52nd anniversary of Earth Day, which is a great time for all of us to think about our habits, roles, and responsibilities to ensure that our planet is safe for future generations. Since taking office, I've insisted that we view policies and budget decisions in Montgomery County through an equity lens as well as a sustainability lens. I'm proud of the progress we're making, and this week I was very pleased that we took a significant step forward to our efforts to combat climate change. I'm pleased that on Tuesday, the County Council passed the Building Energy Performance Standards, known as BEPS. I want to thank County Council President Gabe Albornoz for bringing this bill to a vote and the entire council for their unanimous support. When I submitted this legislation to the County Council last April, we were among the first local jurisdictions in this nation to embark on this type of legislation. BEPS garnered the attention of President Biden and the environmental activists across the country. Other jurisdictions, like Denver, Colorado, specifically credited our proposal as their model for their own BEPS legislation. BEPS is critical if we're to achieve our goal of 100% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions by 2035. In fact, if we didn't have the BEPS legislation, it would be impossible to achieve our greenhouse goals. From 2005 to 2018, Montgomery County reduced its emissions 19%. And during the same time, the United States reduced emissions by 12%. Later this year, the latest data on our emissions from 2020 will be released by COG, and that will be a key indicator of how far we are out from our goals. I knew from the beginning that combating climate change and achieving our goals outlined in the Climate Action Plan would not be easy. This is why I wanted our goals to be so aggressive from the start. Climate change is something we must address with a sense of urgency, and BEPS is one part of our ambitious efforts to reduce emissions. Our fight against climate change will not occur by policies and laws alone. We must continue to engage and educate our community and our residents on how they can reduce their carbon footprint. This Saturday from 11 to 5, the county will hold its 7th annual Green Fest. Green Fest is returning as an in-person event at Brookside Gardens in Wheaton. Green Fest gives residents, businesses, nonprofits, and visitors an opportunity to share ideas, learn together, and have fun. The weather should be nice, so I encourage people to come out and join us on Saturday. As far as the COVID update this week, we've seen a 23% increase in cases since last week. Our test positivity rate has surpassed 5%, which is 2 percentage points higher than the state average. Currently, 94% of our region's cases are from the new BA2 variants. Our current case rates and positivity are higher than what we saw with Delta last year, but hospitalizations remain significantly lower. This is likely because of the high number of people who've been vaccinated and those who aren't vaccinated who've gotten sick. However, we've begun to see increases in patients visiting our hospitals, ERs, with COVID-like symptoms. COVID inpatient counts have risen 56% in the last week. Our CDC community level remains low, which is good news. However, our neighbors in the District of Columbia and Arlington County have recently moved up to the medium community level. It is evident that the uptick we've talked about over the past several weeks is here, and we should be aware of that. And by now, we all know what to do. Wear masks to reduce your exposure, test if you don't feel well, isolate if you test positively, and most importantly, get boosted. Many of our residents are coming up on the anniversary of being vaccinated, but we are still only at about 54% of our residents receiving additional doses. It is critical that everyone remain up to date on their vaccines. 54% is much better than the national average of 30%, but if you're in the 46% of people who have not gotten boosted, you're at greater risk than anybody else. Being, quote, fully vaccinated at this point is not being completely protected. It's unfortunate that we still refer to this, or the CDC refers to it, as fully vaccinated, when in fact, the protection from your initial vaccines is beginning to wane if it hasn't waned already, which leaves you open to more infections and particularly more serious infections. For us to weather future upticks and surges without mandates, virtual learning, or restrictions, we must increase our booster numbers. This week, Salud Bienestar, our Latino health initiative, will be conducting a vaccination clinic at our Up County Regional Service Center in Germantown from 10:30 to 3. If you or anyone you know need to be vaccinated or boosted, please stop by. It's easy, it's quick, and it's free. You don't need insurance, and you don't need to worry about your immigration status. It doesn't matter. We just need you to get vaccinated. This week, we changed our policy on requiring masking on ride-on buses from required to highly encouraged. This decision was made following the TSA's suspension of the mask mandate on public transportation that came after a federal judge's ruling that the CDC mask mandate on public transportation was unconstitutional. I'm not pleased that we were forced to make this change, but we did it to provide passengers and operators with consistency with Metro and other regional transportation systems. This action was precipitated by an awful ruling by a Trump-appointed judge who has zero expertise in public health, and they chose to overrule our nation's public health experts. This is a real shame and a real abuse of judicial power, and I do hope it gets reversed. We strongly recommend that everyone wear masks on our buses and, frankly, in any kind of indoor space that is crowded. I want to thank the Council for their collaboration in getting the Police Accountability Board and Administrative Charging Committee legislation passed this week. I want to encourage people to apply. We're looking for fair-minded residents that believe in procedural justice. The PAB and ACC members are compensated. PAB compensation is $10,000 per year. ACC members get approximately $16,000 per year, and the chair of the PAB, who also serves on the ACC, receives $22,000 a year. Please visit our website, montgomerycountymd.gov/boards for more information. This week, I was proud to join Council President Albornoz, Vice President Glass, and Councilmember Andrew Friedson to present a proclamation to Interfaith Works recognizing 50 years of service and commitment to the residents of Montgomery County. I've worked with Interfaith Works for many years, and I've always been impressed with their hard work and dedication, particularly to the homeless of Montgomery County. When this organization first started providing services to the community, they focused on addressing immediate concerns such as clothing and food. As they've grown over the years, they've expanded services to address the root causes of poverty and homelessness. Today, Interfaith Works offers wraparound services to more than 35,000 individuals and clients each year and has more than 7,000 volunteers to assist them in these efforts. On behalf of the most vulnerable residents of Montgomery County, I thank Interfaith Works for a half-century of ensuring that our residents have access to shelter, food, clothing, medical care, employment support, and emergency resources. As good as their work is, I look forward to the day when they don't need to exist because we've conquered poverty. But until then, we'll continue to appreciate their work. Thanks for listening again, and have a great week.